the most genius, legal robbery in history. In a small village in Ireland called Bellistown, people still remember a man who pulled off a $6 million heist in broad daylight. The surprising thing is, he had no gun in his hand, no mask on his face. After this operation, he moved around openly, but the police couldn't touch a single hair on his head, because he committed this entire robbery completely legally. This man's name was Barney Curley, a mysterious and cunning gambler. So cunning that professional players and bookies would stop gambling just hearing his name. He used his mind not only to find the weaknesses in the system, but also to turn them into his weapon. This is the astonishing story from 1975 that the world today knows as the Yellow Sam betting coup. Welcome back to LGM TV videos, dear viewers. June 26, 1975. Bellistown, a small village 26 kilometers from Dublin, is hosting a horse race. The racecourse is bustling with activity. Preparations for the race are underway. People are placing bets on various horses, and bookies are settling into their positions. But Barney Curley is nowhere to be seen. He is hiding inside the racecourse, in thorny bushes, waiting for the race to start. The reason he is hiding is the bookies present there, because if they found out that Barney had arrived or that his horse was racing, they would become alert immediately, even stop taking bets entirely. At that time, Barney's name was quite infamous in the gambling industry. In any race Barney participated in, even if he just showed up on the ground, bookies would know that something fishy was definitely going on. But the trick he was about to pull that day was the biggest and most dangerous move of his life. Barney Curley was a man who didn't even spare his own father. His father, Charlie Curley, trained greyhounds and gambled by racing them. At the last moment of a race, Charlie would drug his slowest dog to make it run fast, and bet all his money on it. That way, he'd make a good amount of money by deceiving the bookies. Barney knew all about his father's tricks. One day, when Barney was 15 years old, Charlie asked him to give a piece of meat laced with drugs to a dog. But Barney deliberately did not give that meat to that dog. The next day, that dog lost the race. Charlie suffered significant losses. But one person was very happy about it, Barney. Barney secretly gave the drug meat to another dog and placed his bet on that one instead. By deceiving his own father for the first time, Barney earned £15, which would be about $500 today. So, a man who started gambling by betraying his own father. You can imagine what he would do to the rest of the world. You'll find out shortly. In betting, there's the gambler who places money on horses. If his horse wins, he gets double, triple, or whatever the odds are. The person who sets these odds is the bookmaker. They decide which horse will return, how many times the bet amount. If a horse is slow, its chances of winning are low, so its odds are the highest, say 20 to 1, meaning you bet £1 and get £20 if it wins. Conversely, horses with higher winning chances have lower odds because everyone is betting on them. Ultimately, the person who makes the most money is the one who bets on the slowest horse. And that horse actually wins. A 20 times return. Charlie spent his entire life making his slow greyhounds fast through medication and his fast dogs slow. That's how he deceived the bookies. And since betting wasn't legal at the time, there weren't many strict rules either. In 1956, an incident occurred that drowned Charlie in debt up to his nose. As usual, he drugged his slow dog and bet all his money on it. But nature had other plans. Due to the wrong effect of the medicine, not only did the dog lose, but it also fell and broke its spine. At that time, Barney was 16 years old and took his father's loss to heart. This single loss pushed the entire family into a swamp of debt. Barney had to leave school and work in a factory to help pay off his father's debts. For the next 18 months, both worked day and night, and whatever they earned went straight back to the bookies. This was the time when Barney saw the dangerous and ugly side of gambling up close. After that, he tried many professions, opened a betting shop, a pub, tried music management, but nowhere did he succeed. He even started smuggling cross-border Gillette blades. But one day, a skirmish broke out at the border, and the sound of gunfire terrified him. His heart was always stuck on horse racing and gambling. Finally, he decided to step into the professional world of gambling. Even if it started with deceiving his own father, his first earnings had come from this very field. By 1975, he had caused plenty of havoc in the gambling world. Sometimes his tricks worked. Other times he drowned in debt. The situation had gotten so bad that bookies would panic just hearing Barney's name. They wouldn't let him play, or if they did, they'd immediately slash the odds on the horses with the highest returns. This time, Barney was drowning in 12,000 pounds of debt, and there was only one way out of this swamp. It was here that a mischievous idea was born in his mind. Barney contacted an old friend and asked for a horse with a very poor track record. This horse was named Yellow Sam, which used to be his father's nickname. The horse's record was beyond bad. In its last 9 races, it had finished worse than 8th place. Barney adopted an extremely cunning strategy. He deliberately raced the horse on surfaces and in races that went against its nature. This lowered Yellow Sam's official rating even further, to the point where it became eligible for handicap racing. But the reality was that Yellow Sam was a horse that could run fast on hard ground. Barney had made Yellow Sam under-handicapped so that when the real race came, it could run fast. He chose a national race at the Bellestown Racecourse on June 26, 1975. It was a handicapped race, the Mount Heniwer Handicap Hurdle. But what he had done so far was just part of his plan. There was a specific reason for choosing the Bellestown track. There was only one public telephone booth there for communication. In those days, whenever a race was held, people would start placing bets at betting shops across the country hours in advance. Betting shop owners were connected to the bookies. If too much money was placed on a horse, the shop owners would inform the bookies to reduce that horse's odds. But the rule was, once the race started, the odds would be locked. Barney thought, if he could somehow block the only phone line at Bellestown Racecourse at the last moment, then the bookies' connection with the betting shops would break, and Yellow Sam's odds would remain 20-1 until the very end. But he had to do this without raising any suspicion. If the bookies got even a whiff, they'd slash the odds on all horses. The success of this plan depended on Barney's trusted friends supporting him. He selected 300 people across the entire island who would go and place bets on Yellow Sam at the last moment. He gave them cash envelopes ranging from £50 to £300. For this planning, Barney had saved up £15,000, his entire life savings at the time. If the plan failed, he wouldn't just be ruined. He could end up in jail under the weight of debt. Now came race day. Hours before the race, betting had already begun at shops across the country. As expected, Yellow Sam had the highest odds because his official rating was very low. 25 minutes before the race started, a man named Benny arrived at the public phone booth at Bellestown Racecourse. He was one of Barney's trusted friends. His job was to occupy the phone booth. He picked up the phone and deliberately started a long conversation. People waiting in line tolerated it for a while, but he said his aunt was sick, on her deathbed, and it was vital that he speak with her. Many sympathized, but the bookies standing in line had a serious problem. Barney had given him clear instructions. If anyone tried to forcibly take the phone, break it in anger, but under no circumstances let anyone else make a call. For 25 minutes, Benny kept talking about his sick aunt crying. As soon as the race started, Benny put down the receiver, walked out crying, and promptly disappeared. At that very moment, Barney's people, scattered across the country, placed their bets on Yellow Sam. The odds remained at 20-1 and were locked as soon as the race began. Betting managers immediately tried to call the track to reduce the odds, but every time, the phone was busy. The bookies on the track had no idea what storm had hit them outside. Barney himself was at the racecourse, hiding in the bushes to avoid the bookies' eyes, watching the race through binoculars. When the race started, Yellow Sam showed astonishing speed with his jockey. Even the favorite horse, Silver Road, appeared helpless before him. Yellow Sam easily cleared all 13 hurdles and won the race by 2.5 lengths. When the race ended and the bookies realized what had happened to them, there was an uproar. They found Benny, the one who had occupied the phone booth, but he said, "It's a miracle. My aunt is better now," and refused to identify Barney. Now came the bookie's turn to pay Barney. His total investment in this game was £5,000. He was owed 20 times that, £300,000, which in today's money is about $5 million. The angry bookies paid him entirely in one notes, which filled 108 bags. The story became headlines across all of Ireland and the UK. Barney Curley became a legend overnight. Most importantly, he had broken no law. He had simply exploited a weakness in the system and turned it into his weapon. After this incident, bookies changed their rules, making a minimum 30-minute time frame mandatory for large bets. Barney Curley continued many small and large gambles after 1975, but his wins in 2010 and 2014 proved that his mind was still just as sharp at 70 years of age. Barney Curley passed away on May 23, 2021, at the age of 81 after battling cancer. Upon his death, the world of horse racing paid tribute to him as a genius and the Robin Hood of racing, because he was a man who, on one hand, knew the art of robbing the system, and on the other hand, had the courage to spend that money on the poor. We hope you liked this Algem TV video. Please like and share it. Thank you so much for your loving comments. See you in the next amazing video.